totally puts me in a good mood. Totally.
The Friday feeling.
Something I can recognize, is that right?
Yep.
Bienvenidos todos a un episodio más de Champaña, por favor. En este proyecto se les escucha. Aquí cuando alguien manda comentarios y dice yo quisiera escuchar sobre esto, sobre lo otro, sí leemos los comentarios. O sea, cuando les pedimos que manden mensajes y tal, sí los leemos, lo juro por Diosito Santo. Y uno de los comentarios en los episodios, por ejemplo, que grabamos con Boyana, fue que pues estaba padre escuchar la experiencia de extranjeros que trabajaban en timeshare, gente que viene de otros países y tal. Y para eso, hoy tenemos aquí a Claire Beal con nosotros.
Hi. Thank you
All
for
the way
inviting me.
from the UK, so would it be a Brexican?
I like that.
Maybe?
Brexican. I've never been called that before. That's one thing I've never been called before.
There's always a first time. I keep telling people to start a podcast because it's a nice way to get in touch with people you haven't seen for a while, which is the case. I mean,
Yep.
I started my career in Villa del Palmar, and that's where
Just
we
like
met
me, yeah.
years and years ago. But how long has it been since you started?
You know, I remember the exact date.
Which is?
It was the 5th of November,
Uh-huh.
2013.
So...
No,
there's gonna be-
2014, sorry.
I was going to say. So
2014.
it's going to be 10 years this year.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Old.
I know, right? I look back and I
Yeah,
go
my
like, I'm
God.
one of the dinosaurs now?
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about that in the shower this morning. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, for sure, at some point on this thing tonight, I'm going to say, oh my God, I'm one of the old ones.
Yeah, going like, I remember back when I started, like, fuck.
When I used to come to work on my scooter. Do you remember that? I used to drive to work on a scooter.
I don't remember that.
You missed a fun time.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
That's how old we are. Shit.
Well, obviously, we're just 18. We started when we were 8. This is Mexico.
In timeshare years, which is like dog years, we're
Oh
fucking
my
old.
God.
Goddamn old.
Oh, Lord.
How did timeshare came across in your life?
You know, when I started in Villas del Palmar, that was, I guess, officially the second time that I started in
Okay,
timeshare.
okay.
Although I count it really as my official first time.
Okay.
Because I did work for a very short period of time in H10 as an OPC.
Okay.
Or in-house OPC.
When you say short time?
You know what? It was about a year.
Okay,
So
not
I guess
so
we
short.
have to count it. It's just a period that I kind of like to forget.
It's a gray
I don't
area.
count it.
Somewhere I don't like to count. Okay.
I did a lot in that year. I did like OPC for the first time ever inside the hotel. So we had to actually like work as well, do real work as a concierge.
Okay.
And they sent me to a hotel in Dominican Republic to train some of the staff there. Mm-hmm. And then I actually got sent to Los Angeles to open a call center to do
Okay.
off-site sales for timeshare.
Okay.
That was all in the space of a year.
Shit, so you've done OPC, you've done call center, now you've been on the line for a long time. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's such development.
That's crazy.
But back in the UK, before coming to Latin America, did you have any experience in sales? Or
I mean, I guess
related to it?
everything you do is sales, right? Once you're in
Agree.
sales, you realize everything is sales.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even your husband is selling you when you want to go for dinner on the weekend. Hi,
Kudos,
Jerry.
Jerry.
I always tell him, stop timesharing me.
Stop closing me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess everything is sales, right? No, I actually was a general manager. Are you ready? For McDonald's. So
Okay, this I didn't know.
I actually ran. I think it got up to like 52 restaurants in my region before I left.
Joder, where's that at?
It's a city called Sheffield.
In Sheffield.
I normally tell people Manchester because they understand where that is.
Well,
it's
if
not
they
that
are,
far.
if you're a football fan, you know where Sheffield United
Sheffield
is.
Wednesday.
Yes.
You know Sheffield was the first ever football team.
Yeah, I know. Well, nerd football fans like me, no, yeah.
Sheffield United. And you know the first ever football team here in Mexico, which one it was?
Pachuca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jerry's from Pachuca and I'm from
That's
Sheffield.
true. Okay.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I never thought about
And
it.
like God works in mysterious ways.
That's interesting. And so you moved down to Latin America just because?
Yeah. One of those ones that got suckered in, right?
Uh-huh.
I was on holiday. I can say holiday because I'm English,
holiday,
right? I'm so
yes.
used to saying vacation.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the place. I said I'm going to come back on another
Which
holiday.
was Mexico?
Mexico,
Okay.
Cancun. I came with my dad My dad, my sister, and one of my best friends the first time.
Okay.
And the day I landed back in England, I booked to come on holiday again the following year.
Wow.
But for 3 weeks, because it was going to be the year that I finished university. And I came and I said, I'm just going to scuba dive and enjoy these 3 weeks. And the company I was diving with offered me a job. And I'm like, wait, a minute. What? I can just come to Cancun and scuba dive and you're going to pay me to do that. Like, what?
So I'm going to be vacationing every day and getting paid for it.
Right? I mean, that's what you think. You're like, when I move to Cancun, you know,
people think that
beach.
Because we live here, we don't need a break, we don't need a vacation. Like,
Yeah, clearly I do not spend time on the beach, right? My dad all the time tells me, are you sure you live in Cancun? Yeah, but I work in an office all day.
So that's how you started.
That's how I started.
The Mexican dream.
The Mexican dream, which was meant to be 1 year.
Okay.
That was in 2006.
Wow.
So if I'm not mistaken, 19 years here now.
It's crazy because the other day one of my customers was asking me how long have, you know, the typical icebreaker when they are uncomfortable during breakfast.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this? And I'm like, you know what? I was talking about it with one of my friends recently. This was a 6 months plan for me that ended up being over a 10-year plan already.
That's what I say. Be careful what you say, right?
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish
I came
for.
here with the idea to just be here from December till June, July-ish, 6 months. And then my idea was to go back to live in Spain. Never again. I mean, I like this better. But it's interesting. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. Like, what was the culture shock that there must have been one coming all the way from the UK where you need to be in time, where things actually happen in the time frame when you are supposed to, right? And then you come to a place where punctuality is just like
30 minutes, that's like 2 minutes. That's nothing.
A Mexican minute could be 2
there
hours.
in 10 minutes, haven't even showered yet, right?
I'm on my way, meaning I just woke up.
Yeah, exactly. That took a little getting used to. You know, I definitely know how to sit in a restaurant alone now.
Yeah, exactly.
It happened a few times.
I lost my job when I was working in London because I was 2 minutes late.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, you know, 2 minutes late is like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I learned
15
that.
minutes, right?
That's in year dogs.
What's the saying that we say in English? 10 minutes early is already 15 minutes late. Something like that.
Okay.
I did not learn that growing up because I'm always late for an English person. My mom always used to tell me, you're going to be late for your own funeral. I will do that, I will make sure that...
So if in the UK, if you are on time, you're late.
Yeah, pretty much. They expect you to be there before you're supposed to be.
No wonder why they fired me. Now I fucking get it. Okay. So aside of the punctuality and stuff, what was the most difficult part to adapt to?
You know, I feel like Mexicans in general and English have very, very similar, like, sense of humor. It's very dark humor, that type of thing. So all of that is very similar. That was super easy. I guess was the first thing is just knowing your surroundings, what you're in.
Okay.
I don't really want to reference first world, third world. I honestly don't think Mexico is a third world, but it is obviously for certain reasons.
It is, yeah.
So, I mean, when I moved here in 2006, like, for example, you go to a bank, already by then, you didn't have to get in a line and line up at the window or take a ticket or talk to somebody. Yeah. It was already everything on a machine. It was so rare that you had to talk to somebody. So, like, things like that.
Okay.
Or, like, so much paperwork, the things, like, no way. That office for immigration, when I first started going there, like, nothing was digital. They would lose your papers.
That's a pain in the ass for all foreigners that come to Mexico. It's like, God. Really, I gotta go through this again.
And the first time I did my FM3, I did it without a lawyer. I did it just me. I had no clue what I was doing.
Of course.
Didn't speak Spanish, couldn't read the papers, didn't know what they needed, like insane.
But you thought like, yeah, this is something I'm an independent woman. I can do it myself.
Everybody says I can do it, so I'll do it. You know, the only reason I survive here is because my dad told me, yeah, go, it'll be a great experience. You'll learn the language. You're going to be back in 3 months.
Oh, ouch.
If he didn't say that, I would have been back in 3 months.
Yeah.
But when someone tells you no, you can't.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it in a bad way. He wasn't like, I don't believe in you. It's just, it's going to be the first time you're living out of house, like learning how to pay bills for yourself. Like, and you're doing it in a different country. And not even just a car ride away. You're a 10-hour flight away if you get a direct one.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and you actually like put it in expert mode. Like,
yeah.
Okay, let's go big or
literally
go home.
You learn fast, that's for sure. Yeah. You learn what to do and what not to do real fast, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you press forward and you look at in perspective, you look that you've been here for 16 years, over 10 years in timeshare and whatever. I mean, obviously, we cannot imagine what's going to happen next year.
No, never.
Not even in 5 or 10 years. But what's the part that surprises you more about yourself? Like, after you've done this for so long?
I think that's the thing that surprises me the most is that you can still always keep surprising yourself, right? Mm-hmm. We're so resilient. There's so many different things we can do if you really want to. That's the key.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would be here for 10, 15, almost 20 years. That's insane. My idea was 1 year, survive, do it, and I can say for the rest of my life I lived in another country, right?
I will have a cool picture in Mexico and that's it, yeah.
And honestly now, if you told me go back to live in England, I'd be like, how do you pay your bills here? Like, I never did that when I lived in England. I'm like more Mexican now.
Yeah, true.
So I think more than anything is the resilience. It doesn't matter what's thrown at you or what comes your way.
Yeah.
There's always a way out of it. There's always a way you can go around it, even when you think there isn't, you know?
Now, when you started in sales, well, after all this experience, OPCing and then the call center and all that stuff, the first tours, those first times when you are actually alone with your customer, you got to do breakfast and show the room and whatever. Do you still remember that anxiety, like that, I don't know, being nervous about talking to somebody?
Oh, yeah. I can still get it from time to time now, which I think is good because it means you're still excited by it. You still enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're like, what the hell am I going to talk to these people about? I don't need these people from Adam and Eve. We're all kids when we start, pretty much as well, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to talk to these 56-year-olds, like
trying to find common ground
educate them,
somebody who's 30, 40 years older.
Yeah, and they're like, who's this little kid trying to tell me what to do, right? With your little squishy cheeks.
Now, just out of curiosity, when you started in the line as a liner per se, were you one of those that were, I don't know, the chosen one because you're European, so you're supposed to talk to Europeans all the time? Because that happens a lot.
You know what? The good thing about the time when I started in VS kind of was, I don't want to say a love line because it wasn't, but it was sort of you sell and you get what's good, basically. So prove yourself and you're going to get what's good. It doesn't matter if it's... I think I got lucky that they weren't like, oh, it's an English couple, give it to Claire because she's English.
Because that happens a lot in some tracks, like, okay, you speak Portuguese, you get just Brazilians or Portuguese.
That sucks. Just don't tell them you're Portuguese.
I'm not going to point fingers, but I know somebody who speaks 5 language.
Ouch.
And she pretends that she only speaks Spanish and English because she refuses to take French and, Portuguese and something else. Because she's like, no. I don't want to be cataloged as the one that takes just Portuguese.
No, but you know what? I did get it the other way around. I was always told that I couldn't go to... I was never given a Spanish-speaking couple.
Okay.
Unless it was by mistake or they were pochitos, no? But
so
when
you can Spanglish the shit out of it.
Exactly. They love it. But when it got to closing, if it was my turn to go to a table and it was a couple from Mexico, they'd be like, oh, skip you, next.
Okay.
Like, wouldn't even give me the chance.
Okay. Even though you were fluent already.
I don't know if fluent is the word I would ever use. Not even for English.
But communicative.
Yes, there. I like that word.
Okay.
Yeah, even with that, like, I would talk to my boss and answer him in Spanish. We'd joke around, but when it came to a table, it'd be like English only.
Okay.
Actually, not until I got to Temptation, my first ever table that I closed was in Spanish. And I'm like, oh shit, what do I do now?
Okay.
Let's do it. I don't even know how this works, but let's do it in Spanish.
Yeah. Now that I'm speaking to a closer, I gotta ask, how long did it take you to go from the line to closing tables?
I want to say I'm pretty lucky because I think I was in VS for a little over a year until I got made closer. Less than 6 months, I got made a team leader. I spent most of my time, actually, out of my 10 years, I would say probably 6 to 8 of them have been closing. So
okay.
Pretty fast.
Yes.
If you don't know me, I'm kind of bossy, so maybe maybe that's why.
Kinda.
Just that little bit that you need,
poquito
right?
mito. Okay, yeah, that helps.
Yeah,
Totally.
maybe it's the English in me. I don't know.
But at the end of the day, I think if you're wired that way, or if you're, I don't know, there's personalities, there's different types of, I don't know, behaviors and ways to connect to customers and stuff. And we've talked about it in other episodes. There's people that are perfect for the line because they create such great bonding, but they don't like to negotiate. They don't like to go too deep into negotiation or so because they're not comfortable with it. But there's people that it's exactly the opposite. Like, oh man, I don't want to do breakfast with these people. I just want to go ahead and talk and close and boss around.
And do the thing. You know, now I would say I don't want to do the whole breakfast thing, but I'm going to be honest, it's probably because I'm lazy. Like, you kind of feel like I've been doing this for so long now. Let me just stay on this side of it.
One of the guests that we had said that closers are bored liners that want to grow and make more money, and that managers are bored salespeople that want to manage and direct, but not necessarily close anymore.
I still love being on the tables. Like, I work with people that are in charge and never go to tables because it's just not in their job description.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the hell do you do all day here? Like, I would be bored out of my brains. I still like the
yeah.
I still like the
every
negotiation.
Half an hour, go like, how we doing? Where's the deals?
Yeah, where's my money? Oh God, okay. Coming. So I still like being involved. I still like being with the people. I miss taking tours from time to time. If my boss is hearing, that does not mean I want to take a tour. Thank you very much.
We cover your ears for a sec.
Actually, I recently took a tour. I've done 2 this year, just to dive in again and try it out. Right? I did like the line. I feel like I was pretty good at the line. I know closers like to work with me, and I needed them very little. I did do a lot of pretty much everything on my own, front to back, and doing the closer, which is probably, for me, I think it's one of the hardest things because it's that flipping from one mind to the other, right? It's not easy.
Yesterday, I was doing a workshop with liners. We do that from time to time. And we were talking about that thin line between... I'm such good friend with these people. I like them. They like me. But now I gotta be the bitch.
Yeah.
So I gotta like.
Well, not necessarily bitch, but you gotta be
bitchy.
Yes. You gotta start applying the pressure a little bit.
Exactly.
Right?
Like the example that I was using yesterday to elaborate on this thin line again. I was saying, like, imagine you are in a play. You're in the theater. You're an actor, right? But you have one of those roles where you are 2 people at the same time, right? You are, I don't know, the person in the day that it's a reporter like Superman. And then when something happens, you got to flip. And you're another person. It's another character, right?
Yeah.
I was telling these guys, if you're a front to middle or front to back, when you start a line, when you start making the relationship with people, then the character is the friendly one, is the nice one, the smiley one, the one that connects with your emotions and stuff. But for your mindset, as soon as you cross the door of the sales room, Superman has to kick in.
Yep, so business time.
Yeah, change the costume, and now you're a salesperson.
I like that.
And you have to start at some point putting some pressure, because otherwise it's going to be too friendly. They're never going to be real with you. And then they're going to go like, she's awesome, you should give her a raise, she's fantastic, but I'm not going to buy shit.
Yeah.
Right?
You're like, you're the one that can give me the raise, right? I don't get paid unless you buy something.
How about 20% of these now, right? At this point, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you still come across with, like, for you? What's the toughest part of this job?
Myself. Always is me. I'm a firm believer in you can always get what you want and do what you want if you believe in yourself.
Come a little bit closer to the mic, please. Thank you.
This job is a little bit fickle sometimes. You know, we do go through highs and lows a lot. It's very...
Constantly.
It's a very emotional game, right?
Yeah.
So it's trying to balance the highs and the lows, and I'm not afraid to admit that even 10 years in, sometimes the lows get you. Sometimes you get stuck there, and it's sometimes it's not even a low. You're just, I don't know, maybe you're just not feeling it that day, and you're like, oh my God, am I ever gonna sell again? And like, Clay, you sold yesterday. Like, really, it's not that bad. But you doubt yourself sometimes, but if you leave that window open too much, it's gonna hit you hard, right?
Yeah.
So I think, my biggest thing is myself. I need to make sure I'm on the right path. I'm heading forward no matter what. So
how do you usually get out of that mindset? Because after 10 years, you kind of know ways out, or at least to cut the corner and don't stay there for a whole month, right?
Yeah.
What do you like to do to get out of that?
I feel like timeshare a lot of the time is such a huge bubble, and it's hard to get out of it, because normally your circle is everybody in timeshare. They can relate to the same thing. The conversations head the same way,
and
right?
You married another timeshare.
And I married another timeshare guy, right? My best friends all work in timeshare. Everything is timeshare.
Yeah.
So I think a dose of reality is what helps me get out of it sometimes. Really, really, it's seeing how the other half live and reminding yourself, kind of like what you've got on the wall right now. Remember, you are now where you wanted to be, however many years ago. Life is not that bad. It feels like it because you're stuck in that little bubble. Get out, walk around, go to the plaza, see what other people are doing.
Absolutely.
You know, and then remind yourself, no, what I've got is good.
Something that I recommend people when they are going through a slump, or maybe just a bad week, or like you said, maybe that week you're just not feeling it. Your mojo went somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't drive through the same streets where you always go to.
Yeah.
Don't do the same routine. For example, once you leave the hotel, go to the ghetto, drive around the rough areas, go to one of those places that are not so privileged.
Yeah.
And be surrounded by people that are really struggling to make $50 a day, right?
It's gonna be a reality
$50
check.
a week,
Yeah.
which is what people make in Mexico,
Yeah.
right? Like
Crazy.
$50-$60 a week. And it's like, dude, sometimes that's your spiff for a really
For
small
doing
deal.
your job.
And that's how much some of these people make. Like, people around you when you go to La Plaza, the guy that serves your esquite in your favorite corner in Cancun, these people make 4,000 pesos a month.
Yeah.
And when you make that in one check, you're bitching about it, right?
Like, oh my God, life is over. How can I afford my
4,000
life?
pesos, that's all I'm getting? Well, sometimes you're not even going to make that. But then there's going to be weeks when you make fucking gazillion dollars.
5 times as much, yeah.
That's fine,
20
right?
times as much.
But just make sure that you're constantly surrounded by people that are not making that much.
Yep.
So you realize how lucky we are. Because I think sometimes comparing to other people is what gets us.
Yeah. And because you're comparing to the same people. You're comparing... I mean, I heard it on one of your episodes the other day. I'm not listening to them in order, by the way. They're like all over the place. So I don't know if it was like a recent episode or an older one, but it was like sometimes you have people in the business comparing themselves to people that have been doing it for 10 years. Obviously, you're not going to have the same thing. 10 years ago, I didn't have. 5 years ago, I didn't have what I have right now.
Exactly.
You know? And I still look at people that have 20 times more than me, and one day I want to get there, but it's not going to happen next week, right?
Exactly. And also what your background is, because in your case and my case, well, I knew nobody in timeshare when I started. This was my first experience in sales at all. There's timeshare babies that had everything given because, well, there's a sales director who's your godfather and he wants you to come here as soon as you're 18, and then by your 25th birthday, you're already a manager of some sort, right?
Actually, I'm seeing a lot of that right now. Can we call them Nepo babies, like in Hollywood?
Please. Yes.
Nepotism, you know?
I mean, yeah,
they're all coming up now, right? I'm like starting to work with them, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, oh my God, I remember when you were like 9. One day you're gonna be my boss.
Yeah, and not in a long time.
No, I'm actually gonna train you to get there. Wow.
Yeah, this is happening a lot, and it shocks me to see how how quick this is, like, this is skyrocketing, right? Like, some of these young guys in their early 20s already, like, running rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
When maybe they had 6 months experience in the business.
You know, I can never imagine running a room at 20 years old, though. 6 months experience. I couldn't even run myself, let alone run a room.
No. Thank God that it didn't happen to me. I would have been dead already. Like, I mean, with the amount of money that you can make with being so immature, it's dangerous. If you don't have the head in your right place, and if you don't have somebody to tell you where to go, what to do, how to behave, right? When you have that much money at that young age, that's a time bomb.
I just think at that age, running a room, you're missing a major skill set, which is experience. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're not intelligent. It's not that you can't do it. It's just not at the right moment that you should be, you know?
It's like if we had the smartest person in the country being, I don't know, Mexico's president at 22. Like, yeah, you can be really smart, but you're not mature enough.
You just don't have the life experience.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, this white hair gives you some experience that you're not going to get in 6 months.
This is your wisdom.
This right here, yes. Now, when it comes to talking to women, because I like to talk about that every time I get a girl here, especially when they're closers like you, right?
Yeah.
What was the toughest part in a timeshare world dominated by guys? Like, to push everybody around to get there and be a closer and stay as a closer.
You have to do everything times 2, times 3.
Okay.
What a guy's gonna do, you better do it 2 or 3 times better, harder.
Shit.
Like, really, it's a fight. This industry's not gonna change from one day to the next. We're years behind where it needs to be. I hope we start to see changes.
Yes.
It's not a fight I have the energy for. So you say, you know, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah.
Just do it better than them. That's it. Like, when I became closer, my now husband was becoming closer at the exact same time.
Okay.
And we actually had this conversation the other day. It's like, you and I grew through everything at the same time. And I'm like, okay, that's what you see through your eyes. You lived with me and you did it. You know, you didn't have to jump through the same hoops that I had to jump through. And I had to even lay out for him, even though he'd watched it happen.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, no, yeah, you're right. You had to do it. Very different things compared to me to get the exact same position.
Wow.
So, I mean, I remember when I became a team captain, I don't know if it ever happened after me, but they were like, cool, you're going to be a team captain. However, you don't have a team. You have to hire them, you have to train them, and you're going to be paid off for whatever they sell.
Okay.
Nobody else in the company I worked in had to do that. They were given a team of 12 people already trained.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow. I never asked if it's because I was a woman. I was just like, that's what they're telling me. If I want the position, do it, right?
Oh, shit.
So you don't make a real paycheck till 6 months in because...
Yeah, you're training, hiring.
The fruits of your labor, right?
Yeah.
I was going around the plaza hiring people from like kiosks, if they could speak English, like, and training them because they had just a little bit of a know-how.
So how did you pick these people?
Like that, really.
Like you look
I'd
like
be in
you
a
can
restaurant and some waiter would be so cool and have a really good character, and I'd be like, hey, have you heard of this single timeshare? You want to come work for me? Like, I was handing out my number everywhere, like, call me, and people would.
Well, of course.
So then I would interview them, hire them, let's give you a shot, and some of them did really good.
I was going to ask, so what was the success percentage with these people?
You know, I mean, I would say for like every 5 I interviewed and trained and gave a period of time, I'd probably get one good one out of it. So
okay.
It's like,
not bad.
Yeah, it's hiring a lot, and it took me 6 months to like get the little plaque that said my team was the winner. It felt fantastic.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm pretty sure people thought I couldn't, but you can. If you want to do it, you will, right?
And for these young women that are listening to you as we speak, which, by the way, it surprises me how this is growing, right?
Yeah.
Like these workshop that I did yesterday, I started asking people, please tell me, where are you working at? Where are you listening this from, right? We had people from Rocky Point, from Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, Dominican Republic, Panama, Miami, Cancun, Acapulco, all over the place, which is fucking awesome.
Yep.
But I know some of these women that are listening to you right now, maybe they've been in the business for a month, for 2, for 6, for a couple of weeks. If you were to tell something to these ladies, what would that be?
I mean, find people like yourselves, have them in your side. You're not on your own. Everybody's fighting the same battle, but just keep going. You know, if you really want it, you can have it. I'm not going to say it's just as easy for somebody else, but it also feels that much better when you get it as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Were there times when you wanted to throw in the towel and quit? Or you actually quit timeshare in this 10 years?
In the 10 years that I've come back since OPC, because I did start working in timeshare, there was like a 4-year period where I worked in Hooters. If you remember that.
I was remembering that today, because like how did we like started talking, right? Because we had some friends in common and all that stuff, and I remember somebody mentioned that
Because
you were waiting tables.
We used to sell chicken wings. In the 10 years, yeah, there was a period. It was just, you know, when you feel like nothing's going your way.
Yeah.
And it's actually around about the time that I did the jump and made the change and went to where I'm working right now. It wasn't easy because that was my school of timeshare. It was the only place that I knew.
Yeah.
It was where I grew from coming right in the door all the way up to team captain, and then I went and worked in the members line, so I pretty much did everything you could in that company.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like, I want to say a little down.
Of course.
Like something's missing. And then maybe I need a change.
Yeah,
maybe I need to try somewhere else.
There is a grief process when you leave a company.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you stayed for years.
I was there 6 years in VS.
Yeah, I mean, like, it comes to a point when you know the waiter's name, when you know the lady in the front desk, when the butler says hi by your name, like when you're family with these people.
And it did feel like family. I love that company. It was a fantastic place to work.
Absolutely.
But I just think for me personally, I needed something else. I needed to broaden my horizons, right? That is the only timeshare I'd ever worked in, so...
And it's one of the things that I talk about with people when I see somebody who's like not doing great, I don't know, emotionally sometimes, when they're drained, when they are exhausted and they just want to quit. Sometimes I'm like, well, first recommendation, don't quit and stay. If you already quit in your head, move.
Get out,
right? Yeah. Get out and try something different.
Your body's telling you what you need, right?
Exactly.
That's what it's telling you.
And also, if you are suffering to wake up and go to work, that's a red flag, a big one. But then everybody, and just listen to these carefully if you are new in the business, everybody, manager, team leader, team captain, sales director, PD, everybody's going to tell you the grass isn't greener somewhere else. Everybody says that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is. Not because the place is better. It's because the energy, this energy switch in you when you do something different helps.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a fresh challenge, something new. It's the same thing, if we're being honest. It doesn't matter where you work in timeshare.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. Yeah.
You just need to freshen it up a little, try something new sometimes.
Absolutely. And sometimes you're going to go away and see that you were okay where you were.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's just give it a second shot. Just leave nicely.
Yeah, leave the right way.
Say
always
thanks.
Leave the door open.
Give everybody a hug. Say thank you for everything and leave. Right? Because you never know. And sometimes the person that was your, I don't know, fellow salesperson next to you is going to be a sales director in 5 years. You never know.
What's the saying? Be kind to the ones on the way up, because you don't know who you're going to see on the way back down, right?
I totally love that. Yes, absolutely.
I live by that rule. Yeah, I don't see why you should have to leave any bad way. You're making the choice for yourself, right?
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned about resilience in this business? Like, how do you absorb that into your person?
You need it in this job. That's for sure.
Absolutely necessary.
You're not going to get very far if you break at the first hurdle, right? You're always going to need more.
Touché.
The one thing that's constant in this job is everything changes all the time, right?
Yes.
So the faster you get used to that, the faster you learn it, the better. Because you're never going to be sat in one place too long. That's for sure.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I think English people as as a people are very set in their ways. It's very like, I like it like this, that's the way it's done, that's the way it's always been done, it's the way it's going to continue to be done, and you're taught that since you're little. So that's, I guess, one of the things of the job too. Nothing's ever the same, it's always going to change. So that is a big lesson to learn for sure.
Do you have a lot of young people in your team?
Oh yeah, in the company I work for, like, I am a dinosaur.
It's fucked up when you go look around and like, this person was born in 2002.
I have people working for me that are not even old enough to stay in the hotel.
Shit.
Yes. So I'm like, I assume everybody's over 21 because, I mean, you need to be 21 to check into the hotel. And then I go, hey, it's your birthday. How old are you? 19. 19? Oh, my God. What was I doing at 19? I'm like, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, I need to just go over there again with the old people.
You're
like,
not old enough to drink in Vegas.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This is why I'm asking, because I see a lot of new sales reps in that age group, like anywhere from 18 to 22, 23, like a big, massive group of those new sales reps, right? What do they bring to the table in my experience? A lot of energy, like thirst to learn, right? A lot of impulse to the team, right? In so many ways. But what do you see as areas of opportunity in this young generation?
I mean, the cool thing is you get to see them close up as well, right?
Yeah.
So they can teach us. Like, this is the new generation. These are the people we're going to be selling to at some point soon as well. So they can already start teaching us, like, the behind-the-scenes part of what we need. They show us how to be sold, how to explain new things, how to evolve, right? So I see that. I look at that in a really good, positive way. They're definitely the ones that help us move into the more technical tech side of it, not technical tech side.
Exactly.
Instead of using those RCI little magazines. Do they even make those anymore? Like,
I don't know, but it feels like a million years ago when we used to pitch with those books.
Yellow pads and stuff. No, now they've got, like, pull it up on your iPad, pull it over here, and like, oh shit, help me, because I don't know how to do that stuff.
I remember recently asking one of the customers, how did you choose this hotel among all the competition we got out there, right?
TikTok.
And they were showing me TikToks. That's it.
Most of the people I talk to in my hotel tell me. I ask them, how did you discover? Obviously, I work in a bit of a niche hotel, right?
Yeah.
And they tell me TikTok, and I'm like, holy shit, we're on TikTok? Like, how is that allowed? First of all, we're half naked all the time. So
exactly,
like the soft version on TikTok.
Scene somewhere here and there, right?
Like, I popped up on TikTok. I'm like, wow, we're like
pretty
in.
I keep talking to people who have seen, I don't know, their favorite travel blogger come to a hotel where I work at, and they go like, yeah, I saw these Anthony McFlurry coming to your program. And I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Let me just
these
Google
guys,
him,
and it turns out this person has 5 gazillion followers. I'm like, who is this person, right? And how come the actual influence that these people can create, it's such big hit, and I feel older every time they say something like that. Like, I was talking about this with one of the sales reps today. Like, yeah, you saw that these Mexican influencer Kimberly Loaiza came to Cancun and whatever. I'm like, Kimberly who? And she looked at me like, oh, you're such a grandpa. I'm like,
sure.
Oh, that hurts. Because, I had no idea who that was.
But it's because that's not the way we learned. That's not the way we were sold. It's not the way we found information. We know it is now, but it's just not our generation, right?
And it hurts to listen to say it.
I'm on TikTok. I like to be with the in crowd.
I'm a cool uncle.
I am one of those ones that buy everything from TikTok.
Yeah.
But that's how we're sold now, right? 30-second video.
Yeah. And it is important that I know these podcasts, it's not necessarily what sales directors listen to. I get it, because they know everything. Because they don't need to learn, what is this person gonna teach me, right? Yeah. I get it. But the younger you are, the more curious you're about things that might help you to sell.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you don't have something to teach the older ones, like you're saying. If you're 19 or 20 and you're the youngest by far in the team, trust me, there is a lot of stuff that you know that we don't.
Yeah,
right?
believe me, I'm learning from you. I'm watching. Maybe I don't want to admit it, but I'm like, what do I say with all the young kids in my room? I'm like the witches from Hocus Pocus. I'm just like
absorbing,
sucking the wisdom out of you.
That's a wig, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's important that the younger crowd in timeshare first learn how to listen to advice.
Hell yeah.
Because I sometimes it's like yeah whatever, and I'm like, don't be an impossible teenager. I'm telling you because I need you to make money. And
also because I've seen it. It's been tried and tested. Why do you want to waste your time when it's already been done? Learn the other thing that hasn't been done, right?
And I don't know. I will always recommend them to be more flexible in the way they present things, because if you have somebody under 35, you can speak the same language in a way. Like, we're used to TikToks and I don't know, maybe you've heard about, let's say, I don't know, Twitter, Yelp, stuff like that.
Yep.
But if you talk to my dad about that, he takes his phone like that and he takes forever to send one text message, right? Like, okay, so don't tell him what TikTok is. So if you have an older couple, change some things, right? Don't be so techie, because some of these people hate technology.
Just not going to keep up, yeah.
They just want to call, talk to a human being, right?
Or they want to hold the piece of paper of something, not a tablet.
What do you see in people? I mean, how do you identify when somebody is going to make it big in this business, even though in early stages?
You know what it is? For me, it's a feeling. I've learned to trust my feelings on everything. Even now when I'm on a table, when you get that little like fluttery feeling, you got to push forward. You got to go. That's the time. Do it. Ask for it. Do it. Right? And the same with people. You can be wrong. No one's ever always right? Although with my husband I am.
I wanted to say something, but I wanted to shut up too.
He knows.
Are you telling me?
Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Shit.
Oops. What was I saying?
Marriage counseling.
Exactly. 101.
So, how do you identify somebody who's new in the business and you tell, this person's gonna make it?
I think sometimes just the way they're looking at things, the way they absorb things in, the way they listen, the way they are willing to learn or not, because sometimes the ones that think they know everything end up turning around and shocking you that they're so good at it. I think you can see when somebody just naturally has that talent, because they just, I don't know, they flow so well with people, they find it so easy to connect with them, which is one of the hardest things in this job, right? You can learn all the information that you want, but if you don't know how to connect with people, that information's not going anywhere, right? I think it's like just the whole like aura, persona of somebody. You can kind of see if they're going to be make or break it in things.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Was there any specific time in your timeshare timeline that you can say, okay, this is the moment when I realized that this was it, that I wanted to do this for a long time?
You know what? That's funny, because I think I have two moments. One, when I decided I was going to give it a really good go. So when I started working in Vias del Palmar, I was actually working in the mornings in Vias, and I would go to work at night in Hooters.
Okay.
And the director that we had at the time back then, which was Andrew, out of nothing, I think my second or third day, he did like a whole meeting how not to have a backup plan. Because if you have a backup plan, you're just planning for your first one to fail. And that hit me so hard. I'd never had anybody tell me anything like that. You're actually raised with, have a backup plan, have this in your pocket, always know what to do.
Always have a plan B.
Exactly, right? And it's the first person that ever had the balls to stand up in front of a room and say, don't have a backup plan. And I was like, oh my God. That afternoon I went back to Hooters and I quit, because I said, if this is never going to work, if I always have income coming from somewhere else, right? And then of course I went through like a little, oh shit, what did I do? Oh my God.
Burn bridges? Is that an expression?
Yeah, burning bridges,
burning
right?
Bridges,
I was just like, oh my God, what did I do? Realization, like, really, I'm just going to make commissions. Like, that's it. There's no, like, for sure you're going to be able to feed yourself in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. No salary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I couldn't imagine it any other way, honestly.
I
mean, all of my family in England work on a salary or whatever. And some of them have really good salary. And honestly, when they're telling me things, I'm like, oh, poor you. And not because I'm rich or anything, but I'm just like, you're just so limited with what you can do. Like, your imagination can't grow any further than where you are because you're limited with what you can do every month with your salary, right?
And also planning for something big is almost impossible because, I mean, you're top.
That's it. How are you going to make that extra money? Where is it coming from, right? Even us in timeshare, we need little things here and there. I think you should be investing money and just not spending it on crazy stuff, right? And then you said, I'd said I had 2, right? A few months after that, I just got so fed up. And this is what I tell all of my reps. When you want to make money, you'll decide. And you get that feeling where you're just like, I'm so tired of putting everything into every tour and trying so hard. And then you get so nice, thank you. But no, like, they have your money. Go and get it. And you're going to feel a point in your stomach, like a ball of fire, and just be like, yeah, those motherfuckers have my money. Let's go get it, right? And that's where everybody, I believe, is the point where people make or break it. Because they either quit and leave, or they're like, yeah, let's do it. And you see something flip and change in them. And they just start selling all of a sudden.
Beast mode and, like, no taking, no for an answer.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy because you made me remember that time when I was like, I actually quit. When we were in Villas, I quit. But the day when I decided I was gonna quit, the director ignored me, gave me a tour, and got the biggest deal I've ever had in my career.
Of course, right?
And I took it as okay. So
maybe I should give it another little chance, right?
If you want to talk to me, no.
I don't know.
All
Who
fine.
said that?
Yeah, see you tomorrow. But I learned the hard way because it didn't happen once.
No.
More than once, I'm like, okay, you know what? I did it. Okay, fine. But now I'm going to move away and do something. And something always happened. I call it timeshare God.
Yeah, I always say, pray to the timeshare gods.
Okay, so what do you want from me, right? Because I said, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm doing something different from now on. And then a promotion. I was offered to be a manager, running my own team or running my own sales room. And I'm like, okay, so I guess this is not the time for me to leave, right?
Get left, right, and center.
So I said, okay, I feel like this is where I want to be. But sometimes, like you said, I become my worst enemy.
Yes.
Because you start like kicking yourself and like, I don't know,
Doubting.
being too hard on ourselves. That's something that when you learn how to, okay, I'm feeling down, I'm not okay. Learn how to not be okay, but for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Cut it short. Take
It's
a whole
okay to
day
not
if you
be
want
okay.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, a whole day. You're going to be miserable today. Fine, but just make sure that tomorrow it's not going to be the same thing. At least be a little bit better tomorrow and a little bit better the day after, right?
And then
don't be
just
as miserable every day.
That's actually a rule we have in our house, obviously, because we both work in timeshare. And of course, we can both have fantastic days. We can both have shitty days, right? We have a rule. You have, since you get in the house and take your shoes off, you've got 15 minutes. Tell me everything. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. And after that, there's no more work. It's our time.
Beautiful.
Because if not, you lose your sanity.
Yeah, I had that rule, kind of like a different rule with my ex-girlfriend because we both were in timeshare. And for example, if I was coming to her place or so and I had a shitty day, I would be like,
give me a second.
Time out, right? I will go to the bedroom, like turn the AC on, turn the TV off, turn myself off.
Yep.
For a little while, decompress, and then talk about whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because I sometimes I needed that space to just like,
we all do.
I need to decompress because I know if I start talking about the tour, I'm going to get mad again.
Yeah.
Right?
And then
so I need to let it go and like, shake it off and let's talk about weather. Right?
Yeah. Weather.
Because it's the icebreaker all the time.
Yeah.
What's the toughest part of being married to a timeshare person?
Ooh. Everything's wonderful. My husband's fantastic. 100%. We love you, Jerry.
We love you, Jerry.
My best friend's going to be like, what the F, Claire? Really? You just said that? Like, don't make his head even bigger than it really is. What's the hardest thing living?
Like, because in my experience, when you both are closers, right? It's a constant, like, fight to be right.
Okay.
Right? Or dealing with the other person's bad mood when maybe you had a great day, or the other way around, or like, I wanted to do something today and you had a shitty day, so you have no energy, but I wanted to go to the movies, right?
Yep.
So these ups and downs constantly.
The biggest thing, it's the disconnect.
Yeah.
It's taking the time to disconnect, come back to each other in a better mood. You can still be pissed off about it. You can share you're pissed off about your day and everything, but it's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
And try not to take it out of them. Yeah. I do still sometimes.
A poquito.
And him too. Poquito. Oh, that's marriage, right? I think we're blessed that we both have the same amount of time as well.
Yeah.
We met each other a year before we both got into timeshare. So we've both grew through this. There's been times that were
rough.
Roller coaster. It's really trying to balance it out, learn it. It's just reading each other, really. And having those few sets of rules in place that you need just to protect each other, to protect yourself as well, right? You know, this business is definitely a business of somebody else's attitude bleeds onto you. So you try to stay away from it at work, and then what, you're just going to come home and be in the middle of it? No. And we know how to get each other cheered up and out of it as well.
Okay.
That's for sure.
That's awesome.
Although sometimes, like Jerry, if you know him, is very positive thinking, mental attitude, what you put in the universe is coming back, and sometimes I'm like, shut up, I don't want to hear it. I just need you to agree that it was shit.
Don't cheer me up. Let me be miserable for a little while.
Just agree what happened was crap, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's a challenging part when sometimes you're not in the mood for an advice.
Yeah, no, you're like, please don't come with your hippy-dippy stuff.
Yeah, you're right. That was fucked up. Yeah.
And then we'll move on, and it's fine. I agree you think it was fucked up also.
Now, for the very last part of the episode, I always like to ask people a couple of things, like, for example, do you have any kind of ritual, like, I don't know, in the morning or before you go to bed, that helps you to, like, go back to the lane? Like
a reset, right? I've never been the person that picks their outfit out the night before. I tried. And every morning I get up and like, well, I don't really feel like wearing that now. So then kind of defeats the object. I do kind of have a ritual. I do read every night before going to sleep. So your mind is just like switched off from everything, but also not switched off in the mode of TV where you're still being filled with crap, right? Yes. So I would say that's like my nighttime thing. I used to work out every morning. My trainer changed me. So now I still get up at 5 every morning.
Okay.
And go do, even if I really can't even, I'm going to be English now, can't be asked. Even if I really don't want to, make yourself get up. I go walk, run, bike ride, whatever.
Okay.
I am a person, if you know me, I do not leave my house not ready. And sometimes people at work will tell me, oh God, you don't even have one day that you can't come with, oh, your hair just tied up in a bun, or just not the makeup, or no, because this is my armor. This is the way I get ready in the morning. This puts me frame of mind. I'm here to do business. I'm here to ask for your money. I know I look good. I feel good. What I wear makes me feel good. It's my Superman suit.
Exactly.
That is my next character sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like when ladies feel like they look amazing, they take a bunch of pictures and they upload everything and they take selfies and no, but I was saying, like, it's the exact same feeling. Like when you wake up in the morning and you produce yourself and you know that you look good, you feel better and you talk more confidently to people.
For sure. It's just the way I've always done it. Like, you'll never see me driving in a car doing mascara. That is not going to happen. It drives me crazy.
Okay.
Like, my makeup is done, my hair is done, my shoes are on, I'm ready, let's go.
Okay.
So that's kind of, I guess that's my process. Sometimes I listen to podcasts, sometimes I listen to music because I just want to get out of my own head. The drive on the way here, traditionally I'm normally swearing at people.
There's a punching bag in my trunk.
The worst road rage. My dad would die laughing at me. I used to tell him all the time as a kid, why are you swearing at people? They can't even hear you. You're just upsetting yourself. Oh, I think I beat him hands down. I definitely got that gene from him.
English or Spanish?
Ooh, everything. Everything. It doesn't matter. I even sent a link to my husband the other day, and I'm like, please buy it for me. And he's like, no, you're going to get shot. Like, it was this little hand that, like, when people piss you off, you put it in your back window, and it flips them off. It lights up, flipping them off. And I'm like, I want one so...
Yeah, so if you're living Cancun or in the surrounding areas
from me.
and you see a blonde girl flipping at you, it's not your fault. No. Maybe she had a bad tour that day.
Yeah. Honestly, it's the driving here. That's the biggest thing you have to get used to here. The driving.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then we live at an area in Cancun where traffic gets crazy sometimes.
Oh yeah, I just don't understand the rules of the Glorieta here.
They just don't exist.
Why, if you're already on the Glorieta, do you have to give way? That's not the way it works everywhere else in the world. I'll probably start a debate right now.
Driving is like the biggest challenge in Cancun. Is like,
wow,
oh my God.
I'm like kamikaze driving. Right?
Well, that being said, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Really, I'm so glad that you were able to make it. By the way, if you ever want to have a deal, for sure, let's do a podcast.
Exactly.
It happens every time.
Anytime you have something,
every time I invite somebody over,
it's not gonna happen.
They always get a deal that day, which is great. Right?
Yeah.
Lucky charm. Love it.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly. But really, thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for
and I know
having me.
people are going to love the experience that you shared. Is there anything else you want to add before we leave?
Just keep going. You can do it.
I agree. I
if
think
you decide this is for you, it's for you.
Exactly. When you push yourself, you're going to discover the things about yourself that are awesome in this job.
Oh, big time.
Such a great experience. So thank you for listening and for sharing it. And well, that being said, thank you very much for listening. Take care. And if you get a deal, please send us a picture or send us a text. Yes. I love getting those messages on Instagram. I love
motivation.
That. Yes, absolutely. Gracias, güerita.
Gracias a ti.
See you guys. Take care.